Julius Robert Oppenheimer was born in New York on April 22, 1904, to a wealthy Jewish family. His father was a German immigrant who got rich by importing textiles, and his mother, who also had German ancestry, was a painter. 8 years later, his brother Frank was born. As a child, Robert was interested in mineralogy and poetry, and in 1921, he graduated top of his class in the Ethical Culture School. After graduating, he decided to take a trip to Germany, where he got dysentery and became too ill to attend college. In 1922, he eventually recovered and went to Harvard. At first, he studied chemistry, but he switched to physics later on and got his degree in 3 years. After college, he went to the Cavendish Laboratory in Cambridge, England, where he studied under J.J. Thomson, the man who found the electron. In Europe, he learned about quantum mechanics and decided to switch to the Institute for Theoretical Physics in Göttingen, Germany. There, he studied under Max Born, and he would work with some of his colleagues again in the Manhattan Project. In 1927, he published on the quantum theory of molecules and got a PhD in physics. In the same year, he also returned to the United States. He began teaching at Caltech and the University of California in Berkeley in 1929. There, he became friends with Nobel Prize winner Ernest Lawrence. For the next 14 years, he traveled between the two universities. Oppenheimer conducted important research on astrophysics, nuclear physics, spectroscopy, and quantum field theory. He was also the first to write papers on the existence of black holes. In 1940, he married Catherine Harrison and had 2 children with her. A year later, partly through the help of Lawrence, he became involved with developing the physics of a possible nuclear bomb. General Leslie Groves appointed Oppenheimer as the scientific director of the Manhattan Project in 1942. The Manhattan Project's goal was to create a nuclear bomb. Oppenheimer oversaw the construction of a laboratory in Los Alamos, New Mexico. The Manhattan Project included some other laboratories as well, such as the University of Chicago and Oak Ridge, Tennessee. The Los Alamos lab had some of the best minds in physics, chemistry, and engineering. Oppenheimer managed over 3,000 people and helped solve theoretical and mechanical projects. On July 16, 1945, they tested the first nuclear bomb, named Trinity, in Jornada del Muerto. 20 years later, he said this in an interview about the test.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
Which remains his most famous quote. A month later, on August 6th, the little boy bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, which killed 70,000 to 126,000 innocent civilians. Another 3 days later, the Fat Man bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, killing another 60,000 to 80,000 people. When Little Boy was dropped, Oppenheimer was ecstatic. He said he was proud and that his only regret was that they couldn't bomb Germany too. However, a month later, he regretted it. In a speech before leaving the project, he called it a most terrible weapon. In 1946, he met with President Truman to advocate for international control of atomic weapons, and Oppenheimer said that there was blood on his hands. This enraged Truman, who called him a crybaby scientist. In 1947, he began working in Princeton. He also remained active in the nuclear energy field. Oppenheimer became a chairman and a part of the Atomic Energy Commission. However, in 1964, during the Red Scare, the AEC revoked his security clearance because of some of his left-leaning friends and his resistance to making a hydrogen bomb. Less than a decade later, in 1963, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded him the Enrico Fermi Award. Because of his heavy smoking, he got throat cancer and passed away on February 18, 1967 in Princeton, New Jersey. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe and watch this video for more interesting stories.